Okay, the exponential function problems, all right? We got 3 problems left, and they're not as bad as they look. I think a lot of you didn't really throw yourself at this lesson and learn it too well, but hopefully, hopefully this review will tell you enough what you need to know. All right, so graph the exponential function g of x equals 4 to the x power. All that means is we are going to make a table, all right? So we're going to have x, we're going to have 4 to the x, and then we're going to have y, which is the same thing as our g to the x, all right? And we're going to make this table because we got to plot these points and figure out what this looks like, all right? So they tell us the x values to use, all right? So I'm going to go 4 to the negative 2 power. Well, what I know about 4 to the negative 2 is 4 to the negative 2 power is the same as 1 over 4 squared, which is 1/16, right? So, tiny number, all right? You do the same thing with 4 to the negative 1 power. That's 1 over 4, and that is simplified already. You do 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. And then what you'll see is as you go up, 4 to the 1 power is 4, 4 to the 2 power is 16, is these numbers are going to get really big really quickly. And as you go, as your negative numbers get smaller and smaller and smaller, you go back this way, your numbers are going to get tinier and tinier and tinier. All right? So when we plot the points, I'm going to use red here. For negative 2, that's going to be almost on the line, but not quite. For negative 1, it's going to be, we're going up by 2s, so it's going to be maybe about there if we're lucky. 0 is going to put us at 1. All right. 1 is going to put us at 4. 2 is going to put us all the way up at 16. So this thing gets big in a hurry. So what happens is you have this line that really is close to that, and then it starts to go up really fast. All right? And then we'll talk about, they'll ask about asymptote and y-intercept and all that in some of the further problems. But on this problem, it's just a matter of just being able to graph it. And I think the hardest thing is just using the tools on Alex to do that. So I apologize I can't do that for you, but this is the best I can do. But you're going to basically have a curve that's going to look something like that when it's all said and done. Okay, 17. Find the domain and the range from the graph. All right, so they've got this shown here. Horizontal asymptote is that line that it comes really close to but never really touches. All right, and they want to find the domain and the range. All right, so you're going to write your answers as inequalities. So I'm not exactly sure how they show you, but the way I would write this is x equals, I'm going to put it in some kind of bracket form, and then for your domain is always your x values, and your range is always your y values. All right, so let's do our domain first of all. So domain is what values can you put in for x? Well, it looks like you can put anything in for x to this, right? Because this is just going to continue to grow and get huge and keep going and get giant, right? So for your domain, it can be basically anything. So you could write this a number of different ways. You could write it like that, right? Or you could write it as all reals, which I think is the option they give you down here. So they both work, right? So now let's do our range. So for our range, we have y equal to, and then for this one, you notice that your y values never go above -1, right? You never get anything up here. It just doesn't happen. So everything is included in this value, but it never hits -1. That's why this is called an asymptote, because it gets close but doesn't touch. So for this, your y values are going to go all the way down towards negative infinity, but the highest they'll get is -1. And it's kind of thinking about it backwards, all right? But so negative infinity to -1, all right? And notice that I don't have that on there because it doesn't actually ever get to -1. It gets really, really close, but it never touches it. All right, one more video left, guys.